Picture yourself lying on a beach, soaking up the sun. It's not too hard to imagine because we all dream of vacations like this and see so much of it on social media. We dream of having more free time. In fact, researchers have found that people often complain about being too busy and wanting more free time. But what if you spent 7 hours out of every day for the next 6 months living with all this free time? Would you still be living the life? It turns out your subjective well-being would go way down. It wouldn't be so much of living the good life as you thought it might be. Discretionary time is time spent on leisure activities or other pursuits where the primary function is the use of time for pleasure or other intrinsically worthwhile purposes. In other, more simple terms, discretionary time is time spent on activities that are pleasurable or meaningful to you. One of the biggest problems with pleasure that we've talked about in other videos on this channel is that we all face hedonic adaptation. This is where we reach that state where things that are pleasurable to us face diminishing returns and no longer feel as good. Researchers have found that we experience stress when we don't have enough discretionary time, anything less than 2 hours a day, but we also don't see any increase or continued gains beyond 5 hours a day. We start to experience less subjective well-being. So before you go and quit all your obligations for the sake of free time to spend as you like, consider this evidence. We need to find better strategies on how to use our free time. And there are 2 ways that we can make our discretionary time more satisfying. And those 2 ways are through making it productive or spending it socially. But even these aren't without a point of diminishing returns, because even the most extroverted of extroverts need to find some balance with their social life too. And even when the participants in this recent study were asked to visualize their discretionary time used productively, there was still a point where diminishing returns were faced. And so subjective well-being reaches a limit when it comes to our use and our availability of free time. Using our free time productively looks like anything that's got goal-oriented behavior behind it. So that could be having a side gig that we're working towards, or any kind of hobby or activity that we've got goals that we want to achieve, and not just spending that time, watching TV or very passive. And also socially using our discretionary time is obviously any time that's spent with friends or family or in any type of social situation. And because both of these strategies can be used to enhance our subjective well-being when it comes to our discretionary time, this is where flow becomes really important. And that's because flow is productive and meaningful by nature. It's a peak state of experience that brings us to a subjectively higher level of well-being after the fact. But in the moment, it is also productive in that we are actively seeking challenges and goals that push us to our edge. I think that as this research has shown, we aren't particularly good at making use of our free time and making use of it in a way that is going to improve our well-being. But if we can spend more of our days in flow, then we are supercharging our well-being while also making use of our time in a way that's productive. To get more flow in your free time, first you've got to spend a little bit of time scheduling things out and planning in advance. It's way too easy to just get sucked into social media or watching TV if you don't spend a bit of time planning first. So go ahead and do this as your first step in getting more flow out of your free time. And next, spend your free time on things that you enjoy doing, but subtly push to improve at them, as this is going to also drive you into more flow. And if you want more flow, check out more of the videos on this channel, and I'll see you in the next video.